Yeah, hi there. It's, what is it? August the 18th, 2025. This is Bob and Lou. Probably part 69. Anyway, the odd angle is I'm laying on the floor and I'm about to try to get a little bit of a video of the muffler heat shield that Lou installed. So, stand by. Okay, Lou, go get the water.
Fresh water.
Let's see. Yeah, there you can see it. There's that aluminum shield, and there's the spacers that put it out so that it hangs over the muffler as a secondary heat shield to cut the heat from being directly radiated to the bottom of the floor pan. Okay. Also, more than likely, sorry about that, we do have heat wrap on the header, but we probably should add heat wrap all the way to the front of the muffler and probably heat wrap that on both sides to make sure that the heat is more out the pipe rather than off the pipe as it travels along. Okay, I'm going to pause here while I attempt to get up off the ground. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Alright, I'm going to pause. Back. After a minute or so of getting up off the ground. Hang on. We've ordered and received a 160-degree high volume, high flow thermostat to try and see what that does. And it's interesting because I started working on cars when I was 12 years old, went to a vocational automotive tech school for high school, went out, worked as a professional mechanic basically from age 16 on to 21 until I joined the service. And even though I'm 85, you can learn something every day. When I was researching thermostats, to my surprise, I found out that there's 3 types of thermostat. There's a regular thermostat. I was looking to see what the temperature value was. I knew that it was 180 and 160 and a 195 or 98. And I found out that there's 3 types of thermostats. Conventional, which we all are familiar with. Then there's a high flow thermostat, which is this one. And the third one is a fail-safe thermostat, which if it fails in the open mode so that your engine doesn't overheat, which is kind of cool. However, if it failed, you wouldn't know it unless the engine would take a long time to heat up. But anyway, fail-safe, pretty cool. So that is that. Oh, the other thing is, years ago, when you put a thermostat in, I changed it, you frequently had an airlock in the manifold where the air would prevent the thermostat from functioning, engine would get hotter than hell, and the radiator would be cool. And it would, kind of blow up, sometimes blow the hose off. And what I did in those days, years ago, was I would take and drill a 1/8 inch hole in here so that you had an air bleed, and that prevented it from happening. Today's thermostats incorporate, I don't know if you can see it, that little brass button in there is a wiggle valve, and what that wiggle valve does is it basically acts the same as my 1/8 inch drill hole, and it bleeds the air out, which is kind of cool. Anyway, all right, I'm going to pause. I'll be back later. Hey, back same day. While Lou was working on the seats, he modified the attaching brackets so that these are captive studs, whereas he had a regular nut and a bolt before, and they were kind of a bitch to get at, and then moving the seat back on the slide makes them even difficult to get at. So he took and he actually welded the bolt to the back so that it's a stud, and now this goes through the floor floor pan, and this nut catches it from underneath. So pretty good. Also cleaned it up. It's primed. All right, another pause here.
Come up with something different all the time.
Yeah, moving on. Hang on. Be back after a while. Hey, back same day. As you can see, we've been working on installing the insulation in the car. It's slow. It's not hard work, it's just slow. Anyway, we've got the two sides done. We just finished the first part of the tunnel and found out that the sticky part likes to stick to the foam, so you got to rub it off with your fingers where it's stuck. So the next thing we're going to do is we'll figure out a pattern and do the front of the transmission and then move up on the firewall. So good news is that upon examination of the stuff that we bought, it turns out that it's not a silicon rubber layer. It's actually a rubber that is built on tiny cellular air bubbles, which is good because that means that it has a high K factor. It means it'll insulate better than just a straight rubber. And boy, it is sticky. There's no question. There's no question about that. So I think I'm going to close this up. I'm kind of tired. And we'll call this the end of segment 1 of maybe part 69. I don't know. We'll check when I get home. Anyway, thank you all. Take care. We'll catch you all later. Bye-bye. Hey, hello out there. It's Bob and Lou at the Two Old Guys Garage. Continuing with the insulation for heat and noise. And Lou at the moment is wiping down the surface with acetone. And we've cut the back piece. Decided to go for the big piece so that the small scraps left over will fit the little pieces. Get better use out of the material. Anyway, it is August 21st, 2025. And this would be part 69, segment 2. And in this case, you can see that we've got the tunnel insulated. And we've also got the right side firewall installed, which was a little more complicated to make the cuts. And it'll be even more complicated when we get over to the other side. So we decided to jump to doing the big parts back here.
So the easy stuff first.
Yeah, don't breathe that stuff. Hold your breath. All right, so I'm going to pause this and we'll get back to you later. Hang on. Bye-bye. Hi, back. Same day. Well, what we've done is we've got the transmission tunnel completed. We've got the right side firewall completed. We stopped doing the left side firewall because that's going to be more complicated. Instead, we shifted our attention to the back, and you can see we got the large piece already cut and installed. And what we're going to do next is work on the rest of this area. Oh yeah, on the raised up box, here's a bezel for the emergency brake and a boot. Sounds like I'm from Canada. Anyway, that'll cover that up nicely. And if you notice here, we're using air conditioning duct tape to close up seams. This and this had to be stress relief to make the contour fit, as was this one here. So when we're through, any place there's a seam, we'll do the duct tape trick. That'll be more on the finishing type thing. So, looking good. And I think that's probably it for me. I'm about out of steam. Let's That's what happens when you're as old as I am. Lou being younger, he can hang in there longer, right?
What's that?
You being younger, you can hang in there.
Younger shit. I'm just a little, you're only a year older. God damn, man.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to close this off. And I believe I have enough. I'll publish this later on this afternoon. So I'm going to head home. Take care, everybody out there. Appreciate you being subscribers and viewers and comments. So catch y'all later. Take care. Bye-bye.